It's loofah season. There are a few varieties of sponge gourds. I grow two of them. I grow the loofah gourd right here, and I grow the ridge gourd. That looks like this. That's right, sponge gourds, loofahs, the natural ones that you can find in the store sometimes, not the plastic ones. They grow on plants. They're remarkably easy to grow, actually. And there are a few differences between the ones I grow. There's things that I like more about one than the other, and vice versa. So let's take a look at them. That's going to be your standard loofah gourd. Starts to yellow when it starts to get close to harvest time, and when it's ready for harvest, it goes completely brown. These are ideal for the sponge. Ridge gourds, you can see why it would be ridge gourd. These are very, very spiny. These are mostly grown for eating. If you harvest these when they're young, they go great in stir fries, curries, soups, but you can let them mature just like a loofah gourd for a sponge inside. Biggest difference I find between the ridge gourd and the loofah gourd is when you harvest them. Loofah gourds, you wait until they're dry, brown and crispy on the vine, and then you can peel the shell right off and dump the seeds out. Ridge gourd, on the other hand, is an absolute nightmare to peel if you let it dry on the vine. So I usually wait until right around here on the stem is just starting to brown, and that's when I harvest it. And if you let it dry any further than that, good luck. But the ridge gourd is also not commonly used for the sponge. It's used for fresh eating. I use it for both. So let's take you inside. I did let a ridge gourd completely dry out on the vine for the purpose of showing you guys how difficult it is to peel. Cracked it open a little bit at the top. You can hear there's still a few seeds inside. And then the loofah gourd is much less sharp. These spines are the devil. Like, you can see I can hardly make a dent in this, whereas this I can squeeze easily. This one's more of a chiropractor special. So let's see how easy it is to peel the loofah gourd first. Not too bad. I will say the seeds are a little bit harder to get completely out of the loofah gourd than the ridge gourd. They just kind of get stuck up in there. Fun fact, this is a white loofah. Most of the time loofah seeds are black, but this variety produces a lighter colored gourd and has white seeds. Usually white seeds in a loofah sponge means that the loofah is immature. And in fact, this variety I planted had white seeds when I planted it. This completely dried on the vine, so it's definitely mature. As a comparison, this is what loofah seeds usually look like. This is the other variety of loofah that I grow that I didn't harvest today. Very similar to what I did harvest today, but a much darker green skin. So now let's try to peel the ridge gourd. Do you see how it's just ripping the sponge apart in the process? Okay, this is why I harvest the ridge gourds when they are still green and only just starting to brown at the stem, because this is impossible. I'm gonna go soak this for a while. Hopefully soaking it will soften up the peel enough to separate it from the sponge, because it already tore the sponge up and my hands. This has been soaking for a couple hours. Let's see if it's any easier. Well, it isn't as painful on the hands, but it's also not that much easier. It's still easier to peel them when they are still green and just starting to brown at the stem, and are, I guess, more pliable. But this is going to take me a minute, so I will catch up to you when it's done. Okay, so that is finally done. They have drastically different textures. I like how very tightly woven and compact the fibers are of the ridge gourd. This is the ridge gourd here, over the more honeycomb pattern of the loofah gourd. So as a little recap, loofah gourd, much easier to peel, a lot harder to get the seeds out. They like to kind of stick up, and you can kind of see them sticking in that core there, the little white pieces. Yeah, those are all the stuck seeds. Whereas the ridge gourd, the seeds just fall out. there's nothing in there, but it is a nightmare to peel. But I like the texture of the sponge better. Let's rinse these off and get to processing them into something you can actually use. Sometimes the seeds will come out a little bit easier once you start rinsing them off for the loofah gourd. I'm hoping I can get some of those out. Otherwise, I'll be in there with long tweezers. I'm good. I was able to get out some of the seeds. There's still a lot left in there, but it's a start. Oh, there's still plenty in there. All right, but now that these are all rinsed out, time to go let them dry. Good and clean. Still have seeds in there. You might notice there are some darker spots. That is just staining from the brown peel. To get rid of those, you can just leave it out in the sun and it'll get sun bleached. It's just discoloration. But I will see you when these are dry. And they are dry. So now they just need to be cut and strung and the extra seeds removed. You can really see that tighter weave now compared to the loofah gourd. How it's more of a woven texture. When the gourds get to be a good size, you can get multiple shower sponges out of them. And the cut-off pieces, odd-shaped bits that are too small to string up, I turn them into kitchen sponges. And stuff the insides with all these tiny wonky bits. If you know how to make soap, these are great to add to soap. Just cut these into little discs and add them to a soap bar. I know that may look like a lot of work, and why not go buy a plastic one in the store? One of these will last 6 or more months. You can actually sanitize them in boiling water or even the dishwasher, whereas a plastic loofah would melt. As long as you keep them clean, they will keep going. I still haven't run out of kitchen sponges from last year. The natural loofahs might not be for everyone, but that is a very useful multi-purpose plant. I don't buy kitchen sponges or those plastic loofah sponges anymore. Better for the environment, biodegradable, you can sanitize them, and they last a lot longer. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, let me know, and I will catch you next time.